Good evening. Sunday Live Sports begins right now. I'm Bernard Ndong. Gor Mahia made a resounding comeback into the Kenyan Premier League with a clinical 6-1 hiding of KCB at the Nyayo National Stadium. Medi Kagere scored a brace as Kogalo raided KCB's vault, leaving the bunkers stunned. In other matches, Sony Sugar drew 1-1 with Ulinzi Stars. Tusk FC were held to a 1-1 draw as well by Western Stima as Bandari and Chemelil shared the spoils in a barren draw.
Trying to bring in Wallasimbi once again. Wallasimbi with a cross. Oh! Beautiful, beautiful finish against the team that come back from the Kappa and a good shot. A beautiful goal. Well, would want to remember this game. That cross into the ball. Goal. He's got pace, looking to beat 3 KCB defender across, and a final finish on the 30th minute. And he says, yes, something magical about to happen here. Plays it to the center. Beautiful goal. An opportunity. Gonna get a shot and goal. Oh, just the net. Oh my. The in-swinger coming in, a goalkeeper. Oh, it's a goal. Well, against the run of play. Western Stima takes the lead and it's make the play on the left flank. Can they get a shot in? But a straight to goalkeeper is present. And it's a goal. Equalizer by Tusker 4 minutes into the
Some Premier League clubs are paying their players unsustainable salaries. That is a big statement made by the Kenyan Premier League Limited's media liaison, Frank Okoth, in relation to the spate of fundraisings that have become commonplace now in Kenyan football. Wahiga Mwaura followed that conversation and filed this report.
It's a good time to be a part of the Kenyan Premier League fraternity with the announcement of a 4-year sponsorship deal by betting company SportPesa on Thursday morning. However, the sponsorship news was received with mixed reactions, bearing in mind the value of the sponsorship still remains a secret.
One of the conditions the sponsor had is that they wanted the amount not mentioned, not because of any reason, because of their business plan. They plan to go to East Africa, and they did not want to make Kenya be like a benchmark, so that when you go to negotiate with Tanzania or Uganda or Malawi or Rwanda, they tell you, okay, you gave Kenya this, or why can't you give us this?
I think what people should really be interested in is what KPL is going to do with the money, because we've had very good relationship with them, and we are hopeful there'll be a big transformation in the league.
The deal starts immediately, with SportPesa giving the league 27 million Kenya shillings to clear outstanding balances after Tusker's deal elapsed mid-season. Football analysts, however, have raised concerns that with a betting sponsor on board, rogue players and managers could try and fix matches so as to make money.
There's nothing wrong with a betting company sponsoring the league, because the league knows, the players know their ethical standards. What is a player going to gain by fixing one match, and for you to win any money you have to get like 4 or 5 matches right? So will you fix a KPL match, you get it right? Will you go fix a match in Spain, a match in Italy, a match in Germany for all the 5 to be right? It's not practical.
Kenya's biggest clubs, Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards, continue to suffer financially, and even though the new deal could bring some respite next season, some cost-cutting measures may need to be implemented.
But I'll tell you what is making some of these clubs have no money is the high salaries. The high salaries makes it sometimes unsustainable. That's why those many clubs you're mentioning there, they are behind in salaries, because when it gets to the end of the month you need like 3 million to do your payroll, and that money is not there.
SportPesa hope that by 2019 they will have introduced electronic scoreboards and more effective security measures, especially during the big derbies. Reporting for Citizen Sports, I'm Wahiga Mwaura.
Nakuru RFC won the Dallas Sevens, beating Kenya Harlequins 15-14 in a tight final in Kisumu in the second round of the National Sevens Series. Nelson Oyo scored Nakuru's first try after a relentless fast 4 minutes with no points forthcoming. Nakuru secured their second try with David Kivuti sidestepping his way past the Queen's defense. William Mbaka put Queens back in the game, shaking off 3 tackles for a try. Kenya Harlequins picked up from where they left off, with Brian Okwomi scoring a converted try for a 14-10 scoreline. It became a 1-point game after Nakuru scored their third try, and that was ultimately the winning point. Kenya continues to be linked with the doping menace, as British newspaper The Sunday Times has now claimed that the London Marathon was won 7 times in 12 years by athletes who have recorded suspicious blood scores that indicate they could have doped. In addition, the paper also claimed that the data reveals the extent of suspected cheating by elite athletes in 6 internationally famous city marathons around the world. Those marathons include Boston and Chicago in the United States, as well as marathons in New York, Tokyo and Berlin. A majority of these marathons have been won by Kenyan athletes. Former marathon world record holder Wilson Kipsang believes that Athletics Kenya could and should do more to educate their athletes on doping matters. The claims follow last weekend's revelations, which have caused turmoil within the sport just weeks before the World Championship start in Beijing on the 22nd of this month. They stem from the TV documentary Doping, Top Secret, The Shadowy World of Athletics, that was released by the German broadcaster ARD on the 1st of this month. Kenya's volleyball queens, the Malkia Strikers, are set to travel to Japan for the 2015 Women's World Cup, which will take place between the 22nd of this month and the 6th of September. The African champions and recent Grand Prix gold medalists will undertake a one-week training camp prior to the World Cup in Japan and even play some friendly matches. The Malkia Strikers are set to play Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Russia, hosts Japan and Argentina. This tournament is a qualification process for the 2016 Summer Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Another volleyball team of upcoming players will travel to Congo a few days later for the African Games. Arsenal kicked off the new season on the wrong footing, losing 2-0 to West Ham at the Emirates Stadium to sit bottom of the log. In another match, Newcastle were held to a 2-2 draw by Southampton. Liverpool scored late in the match with Coutinho firing home the winning goal for the Reds against Stoke City.
Kouyaté! And West Ham snatch the lead at the Emirates! Cresswell. Back by Zarate! 2! Near silence at the Emirates, stunned by Mauro Zarate. And the Cockney corner can't believe what it sees. Coutinho with an adroit turn. And a fierce shot. What a goal. What an utterly fabulous goal. Just as thoughts were turning to the possibility of a 0-0 draw.
No stopping it. It's an absolute stunner. When it didn't look likely to come. A complete and utter stunner.
Wow. And maybe Brendan Rodgers' luck's turning.